I gotta think of a way to get a fat ass by tomorrow. I gotta think of a way. I gotta think of a way to get a fat ass by tomorrow. You can sell your pussy. I can do what? Sell your pussy. Sell your mama pussy.
Update on the search for the man authorities say killed a Racine mother of 6. Tonight, Terry Jackson remains on the run, but a woman accused of helping him hide has been arrested.
This isn't a story about a random crime. This is a story about the absolute worst kind of payback. Imagine waking up to find your mother's blood on the bedroom floor, her car gone, and the phone ringing out to nothing. That's how a Sunday morning started for a 2-year-old and 5 siblings in Racine, Wisconsin. The woman missing was Brittany Booker, a mother of 6, a fierce advocate, someone who had built her entire life on the promise of helping the most vulnerable. She was the one you called when the system failed you. She had a 10-year career getting people housed, getting them care. She didn't just talk about having a big heart. She used it like a shield. But a heart that big is also a target. Back in February 2022, Brittany did what she always did. She saw a friend in trouble, being brutally beaten by her partner, a man named Terry Jackson. Brittany stepped in. She helped her friend pack up, planned the escape route. And for that act of pure kindness, Jackson beat them both with a hammer. She survived, but that's when the score was marked. Jackson ran. The system issued a warrant, 12 felony counts of bail jumping for a guy who was already out on bond for a prior murder conviction. Let that sink in. He was a known killer, a fugitive. And for 2 months, this man was allowed to roam the streets with one single item on his checklist: find Brittany. You see, Jackson had already demonstrated lethal intent. The authorities knew who he was and what he could do. So, how far does the system have to fail before helping someone becomes a death sentence? We tell these stories not just for justice, but for protection. If the brutal truth in these stories can teach you to spot the danger lurking right next to you, maybe you need to hit that subscribe button right now. It might be the cheapest, most life-altering insurance policy you ever take out. Look, Brittany Booker wasn't perfect, but she was real. A devoted teacher's assistant, a person who understood systems. She had that associate degree in human services. She knew how the world was supposed to work. She knew the risk, I think. She knew Terry Jackson was dangerous. But her loyalty? It was absolute. Jackson, on the other hand, saw that loyalty as interference. He saw Brittany as the reason he was on the run. The reason his control over his former girlfriend was broken. She became the biggest threat to his warped sense of power. Jackson's history wasn't just long, it was lethal. Back in 1992, he was convicted for his role in another homicide. Life sentence, technically, but he found his way out, and then he found his way back into a life of violence. The sickness here, the profound contradiction, is that he should never have been free to rack up those 12 new felony violations. But he was. He was a human time bomb, and the fuse was Brittany's kindness. Now, if you're still with us, which tells me you are absolutely hooked on the truth, but you haven't subscribed yet, go down to the comments and tell me why. What are we missing? What do you need to see to know this content is worth it? Seriously, be brutally honest. I'm reading every single comment. And that pushback is actually what makes this whole community stronger. So, Jackson is a fugitive. Brittany is back in her home. 2 months pass. 2 months of silence, tension, and a growing sense of dread. Then, Sunday, April 24th, 2022. The child wakes up to a bloody room. The first suspect the police interview is the first person they need to rule out, right? But here's the problem. They didn't need to rule anyone out. When the one person you trust most asks you for a massive favor, how do you even begin to calculate the cost? If this deep dive into the human capacity for cruelty and systemic failure resonates with you, and you want more people to understand these lethal red flags, take a second to like and share this video. It helps us cut through the noise. Let's go to the scene. 9:30 a.m. 13th and Villa. The police find blood, but no body and no car. The first break in the case is the doorbell camera footage, which is, honestly, the only thing you need to see to understand the horror. It shows Brittany Booker leaving her home, followed immediately behind by Terry Jackson. This wasn't a kidnapping born of opportunity. This was premeditation. This was a forced removal. The prosecution would later confirm that the blood found in the bedroom was the absolute start of the violent abduction. The children were asleep nearby while their mother was taken. The tension only built from there. It was only a matter of time before someone found the vehicle abandoned. And inside, they found Brittany. She was beaten and bloodied, and the official cause of death was a single, calculated gunshot wound to the head. This wasn't a struggle, wasn't a panicked act of passion. This was calculated retribution. This was Jackson settling a 2-month-old score against the one person who dared to disrupt his cycle of violence. He executed her for daring to help a friend. Terry Jackson is the ultimate symbol of the lie, the wolf in sheep's clothing. If you believe the truth always deserves to be found, and you refuse to stand idly by while someone's deception goes unchecked, prove it. Hit that subscribe button and the bell now, and let's make sure stories like this don't vanish into the abyss. The manhunt was immediate. 5 states were alerted. Jackson was classified as armed and dangerous, which, to be honest, seems like a massive understatement for a repeat killer. The question for the U.S. Marshals wasn't just where is he? The question was, when the person you're looking for is the one sitting across the table, sipping coffee, how does a detective even begin to see past the innocent facade? How long could he hide when the whole country was finally looking for him? Weight of knowing someone you trusted, or someone who helped the killer, was complicit in this violence. Don't let yourself be vulnerable to silence and deception. Subscribe to True Crime Footprint now. It's the least we can do to honor the lessons left behind by the pain of the innocent. The chase finally ended on Sunday, May 22, 2022, in a residence in Chicago. The U.S. Marshals had him. A brief standoff, and Jackson was taken into custody. He was facing a total of 23 counts, including the initial hammer attacks and the final murder.
Tonight, a man is behind bars for the murder of a Racine mother of 6. Terry Jackson is accused of killing Brittany Booker back in April. Her youngest daughter is just 2 years old. Brittany's father now raising her children. Bruce Harrison spoke to him about what he's feeling now that an arrest has been made.
Leonard Larry was one of the first to know.
A long time waiting, coming rather, and to wake up to a text, got him. It's the best film in the world.
But for Larry, this isn't closure, it's just the next step.
Any court date, any kind of parole, anything that got to do with him, I'm going to be there. You is not walking on nothing.
According to Racine police, U.S. Marshals arrested Terry Jackson at a home in Chicago after a brief standoff. He's accused of attacking 2 women, including Booker, in February in Racine. Police couldn't find him, and later, in April, he allegedly killed Booker.
Larry tells us that Racine investigator Don Nuttall did an outstanding job getting his man. Larry only wishes that Nuttall had been on the case from that first attack.
If he had been at the beginning,
Take a shot.
we probably wouldn't be here. If he had took the case from the beginning. But we got him, Brett. We got him.
Larry has cleared the last things out of his daughter's home. Booker's 6 kids, who used to run around here, are now living with their grandmother.
I'm upset about a lot of things, but worse, but it's over. They got him. So let's see what system's gonna do.
Yeah.
Let's hope they don't film me on that part.
Larry's next move is something he's good at, something Brittany loved. He plans to throw monthly barbecues at a local park for the community to honor Brittany's memory. Reporting in Racine, Bruce Harrison, TMJ4 News.
The judge set his bond at a colossal $10 million cash. They finally had him locked up. But the question remained, for everyone in Racine, and for everyone watching this story. After all the evidence, after the full story has been laid bare, does a sentence, any sentence, ever truly equal the weight of a stolen life? Terry Jackson now faces the music for a crime that should never have happened. A murder that was a direct result of systemic failure. A fugitive with a history of homicide was allowed 2 full months to finish his revenge. Brittany Booker's life was defined by the willingness to protect others, and tragically, she paid the ultimate price for that altruism. Her father, Larry, started holding monthly community barbecues to honor her giving spirit, trying to build something positive from the devastation. They're trying to make sure her memory is defined by the good she did, not the evil she met.
This is a picture of me exactly a year ago. I was eating a lot of junk food and drinking at least a bottle of liquor every day. And this is me now. And I still do all that shit. Gang, gang, bitch.
Hold on, let me get my glasses on so I can see it. What is that? Oh, it's a bitch!
Her story is a necessary focal point. It demands we look hard at the risks faced by people who intervene in domestic abuse and the rigorous management that should be mandatory for violent, repeat offenders. To the family of Brittany Booker, especially her 6 children who were left without their devoted mother, we extend our deepest, most sincere condolences. Your story demands to be remembered, not just for the horror, but for the stark lessons it offers on domestic violence lethality. So, what's your take on this whole devastating chain of events? The broken system, the betrayal, the price of kindness? Comment below. I'm reading every single one. If you haven't yet, subscribe and turn on the bell. You absolutely don't want to miss what we uncover next. Our hearts ache for Brittany's family. Words feel inadequate, but please know you are held in deepest sympathy and prayers. May you find strength and comfort in the memories of Brittany. Thank you for watching, for your attention, and for joining us on this journey of reflection. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and above all, stay safe. See you on our next video.